Hi guys. Okay, so here we are looking at sets number 200 to 300. But before we get into that, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping because I looked at the videos I made on the first two and the quality might have been a little lacking, especially in those pens. So I'm just going to have to ask you to bear with me on the quality of these videos. They're my first videos, and like I said, I'm videoing with the pens and everything, and so I think the sound is pretty good still. Like, I take quite a bit of quality or quite a bit of time making sure that the sound is good. But hopefully as we go on, the videos will get a little bit better. But it is hard in field to videotape and get the girl's face and everything in it. And all that stuff with the pens. Now, I don't have that many subscribers, so I'm not worried about blurring their eyes or anything. In the future, I'm seriously considering maybe putting the pen button or the pen camera down a little bit so it just naturally cuts off the top of their head, so I don't have to spend hours and hours blurring people's eyes. But if you're watching this right now, hopefully at least you can get the full range of emotions in the girl's face and her eyes and stuff. I know some people that charge a lot of money to do what they call the hot seats and stuff, so you can see the girl's actual emotions and actual facial expressions without the blur. So hopefully you find a little bit of benefit in that. So like I said, in the future, hopefully my videos get a little bit better. Hopefully I'll be able to add some music and everything, so just bear with me until then. So without further ado, let's get into talking about my sets, my Cold Approach DayGame sets from 200, set 200 all the way to 300. Again, just like I did with the last batch of 100, I went through all of my videos. I went through all of my field reports. I watched whatever was recorded. I listened to whatever was recorded. And I picked what I thought was fairly representative of sets 200 to 300. I had a look at my stats. My stats went up. I'm a little under and a little over 2 minutes, depending on whether you're looking at the times from before or the times from, like, let's say 200 to 230 to compare those to like 270 to 300 kind of thing. So my times are going up. They went up over 45 seconds this time. I think my average was like 47 seconds that the time went up, so I am getting more times. You'll notice that the structure that I'm using, the London DayGame structure, I'm starting to get through that structure, but you'll also notice that even the smallest little throw off that the girl gives me, whether it's she asks or whether she doesn't respond to a question properly, or if she does anything that's just slightly weird, I throw the model out the window still. And I'm not sure why that's happening. I know if you haven't done any cold approach, you'll think like, isn't it so easy to just go through this model that you have and just say it exactly the same time after time? And man, I feel you, because I was that way too. You know, like, I honestly thought for a long time that by this stage I'd be able to get through the model exactly perfect, non-stop, time in and time out, but that's just simply not the case. You know, like, it is hard. It's very hard. I don't know why, but it is very hard to stick to this model. My mind just always wants to freestyle, but every time I freestyle, I just screw it up because I don't use, you know, like, I usually go for building comfort before the attraction is built. So let's just quickly go through the model one more time. The first step in the model is stopping her properly. You got to get her to stop. The second step in the model is to deliver a compliment to her. So usually I stop her with the Wheel of Fortune. I say, excuse me. I say a brief statement of empathy. It's usually the same every time, and it's usually, I know it's a little random to just stop somebody like this in the mall, but I put a pause there. I saw you over there, give her some context, and I thought you look very nice. Give a compliment like that. As soon as the compliment's done, you get into what's called stacking, which is just basically looking at her and making an observation. My stack is always the same because I'm always stopping the same girls. I say, you look very nice. What I noticed about you was you were in your own little creative bubble. I don't know, maybe you just finished meditating, or maybe you finished smoking some weed, maybe you got some alcohol in that cup, I don't know, but you're in your own little bubble over there. She'll usually giggle at that point, give her an observation. My observation, I guess this is technically the stack. My observation is always, what do we have here? Look back, briefly look down and up, and then I say, I'm gonna guess you are, you can pause right there because she's not gonna leave while she hasn't heard what you observed about her. And then I say, you have friendly energy, you're very open. I'm gonna guess you are, you're athletic too. Like, it looks like you take care of yourself. I'm gonna guess you're a yoga teacher. Is that what you are? Are you a yoga teacher? You know, so that's the stack part, that's the observation part, and then she's gonna respond. As soon as she responds, that's the part that you have to like vibe with her. So that's the part that builds attraction. So, and that's the teasing part, right? So you're supposed to tease, tease, tease. Right now in sets 300 to 400, as soon as I get to that point, if there's anything wrong, or sorry, 200 to 300, if there's anything wrong at that point and I start to freestyle, it's usually I just skip the attraction phase and go into comfort by asking questions or something. So I'm not sure why I'm doing that. Just for reference right now, I've opened 500 day game sets, so I'm going through these videos and I'm trying to stay very close to my learning curve so that I'm not like trying to teach basic stuff with a very advanced knowledge of game. So at this point, I've opened 500 cold approaches during the day, and I'm editing sets 200 to 300. So like I'm a lot better than I was then, but it's not like I'm an expert by any means. And I honestly think that's probably the best way to learn, because these lessons are so hard for me. When I learn one of these lessons, it's like gold to me, and the lessons are so subtle. I can see how it would be hard to teach these, teaching from like a place where you've opened 20,000 people, because these lessons they're just so subtle. I don't know how anybody could learn these without actually doing it, but I think that actually the best way is probably just, you know, to watch their faces and everything. But again, if you're gonna learn this stuff, trust me, you got to go out, man. You have to go out. But watch these videos and see what to expect. Compare me with how you were from sets 200 to 300, and maybe if you really want to like compare your notes to my notes wherever you are, maybe pause the video after I do a set and say, this is what I think you did wrong, and then listen to what I think I did wrong. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's see what the first set looks like. All these sets, like I said, are pretty representative of what you're going to notice when you open girls from between 200 sets and 300 sets. So let's jump in.
Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you there, but I saw you shopping in the store, and I was like, wow, you're an attractive girl, so
thank you.
I had to come over and say hello and see what we got here. What kind of energy do you have? You're like a yoga teacher or something? You're like open energy about it.
Oh, thank you. Hot yoga.
Hot yoga? Yeah, is that your job or?
No.
Oh.
No.
What do you do?
Oil and gas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oil and gas girls are the worst. Yeah, my grandma warned me about them. She says cute but dangerous.
Yeah.
Voila. Yeah. So, is that like Atco or something? Or?
No, Gibson Energy.
Yeah. Like out of breath. Don't burn this many calories to come talk to a girl for a while. Yeah. No, I have a friend that works in, I think it's the Atco building. She does trading trades oil and gas stock or something. I don't know how it works, but yeah, she's super smart, hardworking and everything. Instagram model. I think she just likes showing off her ass, but who knows. But when the sun goes down, she's like complete carnage downtown. Shots, karaoke, dancing on the bar. So what are you up to today?
I'm just doing some shopping.
Are you? Yeah. I don't want to take your time too much. But like I said, I thought you were smoking hot.
Oh, thank you.
And I like your energy. I don't know if you want to go grab a drink sometime.
I have a boyfriend.
Yeah?
But yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully I made your day a little better.
Thank you. That
anyways.
was very kind of you.
Can I just grab your age? Because after I stopped you, I was surprised how young you look. So.
23.
23?
Yeah.
How old do you think I am?
30s?
Yeah, 33.
Yeah.
So, alright,
Yeah.
have a good one.
Yeah, thanks.
See you later. Bye.
Okay, that girl was super cute, man. Like, I loved her teeth. I'm a teeth guy. I had mine done, so maybe that's why I appreciate it. But you'll see, like, I was sticking to the model pretty good. I was getting some teases in there. It kind of fell apart in the vibe stage, you know, like I started teasing her a little bit, but then I don't know what it is. I keep on saying, like, in a lot of these sets still, I'm like, what are you up to? And if you watch my last podcast, you'll realize that it's like, if you ask a girl what she's up to before she's hooked on you, she's just gonna think, I gotta get out of here. That's a good spot. I was actually surprised that she stuck around that long. Again, she said, I have a boyfriend. I didn't really have anything planned there. I was just like, oh yeah, okay, well, I guess you have a boyfriend. Let me ask you how old you are. You know, it was kind of a weird thing that I did there. What else could I say about that? It just, like, I'm trying to close, like, I think I tried to close at like a minute 11 or something. It's like, you know, I shouldn't be trying to close till like 5 minutes. It seemed like a set to nowhere, but you'll also notice that it's not like when you're in this age range, or when you're in this number of sets, it's not like girls are that objectionable to you anymore. Like, usually they're not closing still, it seems like, but they're also like, they're more happy that you stopped them. It's kind of like, yeah, I have a boyfriend and everything. I'm a very cute girl. I'll talk to you. You know, I'll kind of laugh. I'll smile a little bit, but it's not really going anywhere. But they're happy. They're happy that you stopped them at least, right? So that's this set. It just sets 200 to 300 are very murky. It's just like, you're making progress, but again, the progress is so slow. Man, like, you know, if you're watching this, like, just hang in there. Like I said, you're going to get your 45 seconds per 100 interactions increased length. It gets better, but it doesn't get better anywhere near the rate that you would think it would be getting better. Like, it's a lot slower than usual. So let's jump into the next one, see what we have there.
Well, it's a little random to stop somebody in the mall, but I seen you walking back there, and I was like, wow, you're an attractive girl, so I had to stop you and say hello. I haven't burned that many calories chasing after a girl for a while.
Oh, thank you.
What is it what I noticed about you was the way you're in your own little creative bubble or something, just in your own energy, like you just finished meditating or
No.
maybe had a few drinks, I don't know.
No,
but,
I just came from the post office.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So what do I have here? I'm getting like a friendly, open energy. I want to say like a yoga teacher or something. Is that what you do? No? Am I even close?
No, not at all.
What is it?
Well, I'm a dental assistant.
Oh, dental assistants are the worst. My grandma warned me about dental assistants. She says very cute but dangerous. No, I'm just kidding. My friend is a dental assistant. She's very hardworking. Actually dresses very nice too. Instagram model. I think she just likes to show off her ass, but who knows. But when the sun goes down, she's complete carnage. Shots, dancing on the bar, all that kind of stuff. Is this you? Are you like this? No. For some reason, I could picture you having like 3 drinks and singing karaoke. That song, I love it when they call me Big Papa, something like that. I got you wrong, do I? Yeah. Well, my name's Jeff, by the way. Tanisha?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Is it, are you Russian or something?
No, I'm native.
Oh, native. Yeah. That's what it is. I don't know why I was getting the Russian vibe. I'm 0 for 3 here. Are you nervous? Am I making you nervous? Or?
No, I'm just...
Are you in a hurry? Yeah, so... Alright, well, like I said, I thought you were super attractive. Are you a beer girl or a wine girl?
Both.
Both?
I just like to...
I wouldn't mind taking you out for a drink sometime.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, hopefully I made your day better anyways. Have a good day.
Thank you.
And good luck. See you
Thank
later.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, this girl was not as cute as most of them, but still, like, you know, you gotta open, like, sometimes you just gotta open girls that aren't as cute. They usually give you more time and everything. So, like, my suggestion would be like 2 girls out of 10. Like, just try and open a girl that maybe isn't as attractive. At least she'll let you like have more practice. I think that's what I was doing here, but I think like she had a nice body, and I seen her from behind, which is probably why I stopped her or something. But anyways, I got through the model. My push-pull was getting pretty good. I was teasing her. I was kind of role-playing a little bit, telling her I thought that she could, she would have a few drinks and sing that song, I like it when you call me Big Papa. But it was very robotic, right? You can tell between sets 200 and 300, and I'm going to say even 200 and 500. I know most people say after 300 you should have the model down, but for me it's I still don't have it down completely. It's very robotic. I think the girls are like, oh, he's calm enough. It's not like I'm transferring horrible energy onto them. So they're like okay with that, but I still think they can feel that something's kind of off. Now with this girl, she said she had to go, and at that point, and this is common for sets 200 to 300, as soon as there's any kind of tension, you have a tendency, at least I have a tendency, to just immediately try and close, right? So she's like, oh, actually I'm in a hurry, I gotta go do whatever, and then because I'm so robotic, it's like, oh, I better hurry up and close, right? Because there's a lot of sets that it was like, oh, you have to go, okay, well, have a nice day. So at least between 200 and 300, I'm like, well, no matter what, I'm going to try and close and try and get that part of the model down and close strong. You know, say I thought you were attractive, so it's man to woman, it's not friendship, and then, you know, get into the close. What I should have probably done in this set, looking at this from 500 opens, is I probably should have been like, yeah, you know what, like as soon as I seen her weight shift from one foot to the other, and I was starting to get those indicators that she was ready to leave, I should have implemented something in there where it said, hey, you know what, listen, I'm busy, you're busy, I actually got to go meet my friend in a couple minutes, but, and then jumped into some other kind of material, and kept on talking before the close, because I'm trying to close this girl in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's like I shouldn't be trying to close until 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, you know, and it's typical for girls to just want to leave at that point, you know, like I've taken up her time for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. She's happy, she's smiling, she's glad I stopped her. It's my job though to keep the interaction going to the point where she's comfortable enough to actually want to continue the interaction, not her job. Her job is to kind of try and leave. So I needed to address that, say, hey, you know, you're busy, I'm busy. I got to actually go meet my friends in a couple minutes here. I'm sure you got stuff to do too, but, you know, and then don't close, talk about something else, you know, but, you know, try and maybe stack some more on her dental hygienist thing, tell a few more jokes, you know, whatever it is to try and lengthen that up a little bit. And then also I missed grounding completely, you know, like this girl doesn't know anything about me at this point, and I'm already asking for her number because I think she's hot. She should know maybe what my job is. She should know maybe, you know, something along those lines, like, hey, you know, I'm actually in the mining industry, you know, I started this business. My friends tell me that I shouldn't tell girls that I'm an entrepreneur though, because for some reason all the guys are going out on Tinder saying they're entrepreneurs, which translates loosely to I live in my mom's basement. So I've been trying to say something more along the lines like I'm in business, but that doesn't really fit my personality. I feel like I'm more of an entrepreneur, you know, like at least tell her something about me so that she's like, oh, it's not just some random dude that thinks I'm hot that wants my number. Like I have to ground it with something. I missed that step completely, but you know, don't be hard on yourselves. 200 to 300, you're getting thicker skin and you're getting interactions where the girls are starting to actually like it. They're not going anywhere. At least for me, they weren't really going anywhere. But, you know, just take comfort in the fact that girls like you now, at least a little bit, and your interaction lengths are getting longer. Okay, so let's jump into the next one.
Excuse me. Hi. It's a little random to just approach somebody in the mall, but I seen you in there and I was like, wow, you are an attractive girl, so I had to stop you and say hello. What I noticed about you was the way you're ambling along like you're in your own little bubble. And yeah, maybe you just finished meditating or smoking some weed or something, I don't know. No, what kind of energy do I get here? I'm getting like open, friendly yoga teacher. No, am I even close? No. What is it? It seems like accountant is whenever I guess wrong on that.
I'm a student.
Oh, a student. Yeah. Am I in the right field at least?
I guess
no. Exercise science type thing? No. Yeah, I have a friend that's a student. You look, I was going to say you look like older than that, but not as an insult or anything, but it must be something professional then.
That I do?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I study.
Yeah, accounting or what?
No, I'm a religious studies major.
Oh, religious studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to BYU.
Okay.
So, do you know what that is or no?
Brigham Young?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
like a religious school. No, I'm from Cardston. I don't do that anymore though. You know, I'm not religious anymore, but for that period of time I was.
Yeah.
So I went down there and did that. So are you religious or you don't strike me as that? But
I mean, it's kind of an odd question to address somebody.
Yeah, that you just barely met.
Yeah. For 30 seconds.
Exactly.
I enjoy studying religion.
Yeah. So.
I have my friend waiting for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully I made your day a little better.
Yeah,
see you later.
Okay, so I put this one in there because, I mean, that one, you're going to get like 20 of those, or at least I did, from 200 to 300. It was just a confusing set, you know, like it was just like she really didn't know, I really didn't know. That one, she kept on looking at my pen. I don't know if you noticed that, but she kept on looking at my pen, and I think there was something that was creeping her out about it, but I'm not positive on that. You'll notice that I was trying to get into the attraction, but it was like, I think I asked like 4 questions there. It was like, I did a prediction like, are you a yoga teacher? And she wasn't giving me anything, you know, and I think that was a little bit of a version of a female shit test where it was just kind of like, she's not giving me anything and she's seeing if I can withstand the pressure, and I couldn't. I kept asking questions, right? Like, oh, well, what are you then? Oh, you're a student? Oh, well, what are you studying? Or is it in exercise science? And oh, it's not in exercise science? Well, what is it then? Oh, it's religion. Are you religious? You know, like that interaction was only like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and I asked like 4 or 5 questions, and you could tell at the end it was kind of like there was no attraction built, right? I was like, well, are you religious? And that's a pretty personal question for somebody that's just barely stopped a girl in the mall, right? So I should have jumped back in that one and teased a little bit more. She shifted her weight again. I could tell she was ready to go, and I needed to address that before she said anything. Like, I got a friend over here, I just needed, as soon as she shifted her weight, I should have said, hey, you know what, like, I'm actually quite busy. I only have a couple minutes. My friend's just grabbing a computer in the Apple store and I got to get going. But you know, like, I saw you over here and said something else about a student or something, like you know, stacked on the same thing. I should have been somewhere like that. So that was just a weird one, but I included it because, you know, I didn't want to like act like from sets 200 to 300 that it's just going to be a whole bunch of repetitive repeating the model type stuff. That's what you're trying to do, but I have to admit, like, probably 40% maybe, it might be a little high, 33% I'd say, a girl gives you something that's just a little bit off, and then for me and for most people that I've kind of been gaming with to this point, as soon as that happens, they skip attraction. They skip, you know, push-pull. They skip, you know, like teasing her, and they jump right into comfort, right? Like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff about me. You know, when you think about it, I met this girl not even a minute and a half earlier. She doesn't give a flying fuck if I went to Brigham Young University. It's kind of relevant, but, you know, it's just like she gave me just a little something, and it's like, it's kind of like a common situation where, you meet a girl somewhere and she says she's from Reno, Nevada, and you've been to Reno and you have a story about Reno, and it's just like as soon as a girl says, oh, I'm from Reno, and then she keeps talking and you see the guy be like, oh, I got a story about Reno, I got a story about Reno, and then as soon as there's like a second of silence, it's like, oh, actually I went to Reno, have you ever been to this part of Reno? Yeah, I went there and this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and they like are trying to like build attraction with that story. But she's looking at him like, I don't, you know, I live in Reno, I don't really care, you know. Like if you would tell her that story an hour after you met her, or even 10 minutes after you met her, it'd be interesting to her. But just because some random guy that she has no feelings for and doesn't even know has been to Reno, she probably doesn't care. So that's kind of a similar thing that happened in this situation. She said she studied religious studies, and then I was immediately in my body like, oh, I went to Brigham Young University, I studied religious studies a little bit too, we have this commonality, you know, let's build comfort right now. And the way she was interpreting that is, I have no reason to build comfort with you because there's no attraction here, right? So I didn't build any attraction, and then I'm like going up to some random girl in the mall within a minute and a half, and I'm trying to build comfort with her, and she's like, that's weird, like I don't even know you, like I don't really care if you study the similar thing as I do, you know. It's so I wanted to include that to just show you that it's still weird. It's not like it's just repeat the model, repeat the model, repeat the model. It's like the smallest things still throw you off your game, and usually what it is you skip attraction, you jump right to comfort. At least that's what it was for me. So I know at the end of this, you know, I'm 200 to 300 at the end of this at 300 sets. You know, I was supposed to have the model done, I still didn't. You know, I think there was maybe one set in that whole 100 where I did the whole entire model and it was over a 5-minute interaction. Okay, so that's still common. You'll think, if you haven't done 300 sets yet, you'll think by the time you get to 300 you'll have the London DayGame model down perfectly. Man, if you do, you're way better than I am, because I didn't have it down yet. Like I had it memorized and everything, but actually implementing that in the field, man, I was still a long ways off. So let's jump into the next set and see what we have for that set.
Excuse me. Hi. Totally ignoring me. Sorry, I know it's random to approach somebody in the mall, but I saw you walking back there with my friend. I was like, wow, you're an attractive girl, so I wanted to say hello, but looks like you're in a super hurry or something.
I'm sorry, yeah, I just gotta meet my dad.
Oh, have a good one.
Okay. Okay, that one was, I put that one in there just as a quick one because for those of you guys out there day gaming and you're trying to look at my stuff and see where you compare and everything, I just want to remind everybody, like, there's a lot of those kind of sets, just quick, like, excuse me, oh, sorry, I gotta go get my dad, like, out of the 100 sets, that's probably like 25 of them, right? So I don't want to pretend that every interaction between 200 and 300 is like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. It's just not. There's still a lot of interactions in there where you don't stop them properly, where you deliver your opener and your compliment and they just leave. There's still like a lot of those sets, but I would say that even though there's a lot of those sets, there's a lot of longer sets also, you know, like there's a lot of 4-minute sets too that kind of make that the average still, you know, a little over 2 minutes. So, you know, that's just a good example of one of those, you know, 20-25 sets or so where it's like you don't stop them properly and you kind of screw up in the first minute there. So I just wanted to throw that in there to keep it real. So let's jump into the next one.
Excuse me, mall security over here.
Sorry,
I'm just joking. I saw you from over there and I was like, wow, you are an attractive girl. I know you're on the phone, but I wanted to come say hello.
Hi.
And say I liked your open energy back there.
Okay, thank
And I'm going to guess you are I'm going to say you're like a yoga teacher or something.
For me?
Yeah, because you have like an open, friendly energy, even though you're trying to ignore me and pretend you're on the phone.
Oh no, my name is Nicole, by the way.
Nicole, I'm Jeff. What is it you do if it's not yoga?
Oh, right now I'm in school right now. I'm in NATE. I go to NATE.
You do what?
I go to NATE.
To NATE, a student. Students are the
student.
fucking worst. What are you doing there? Health sciences? Are you gonna pretend you're on the phone this whole time?
No, I'm calling a cab right now.
Oh, you're calling a cab. What's going on with Uber? That's the new thing. They're like half as expensive and twice the ride service. My name's Jeff. I want to shake your hand or something, but your hands are full, so I don't know if I can do that. I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm told I shouldn't tell that to people anymore.
What?
Say I'm an entrepreneur, because apparently all the guys are telling girls they're entrepreneurs when they live in their mom's basement. So.
Sorry, what?
I'm told I shouldn't tell girls I'm an entrepreneur anymore.
Oh, okay. What do you do?
I am in business.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I run
that's
a
awesome.
mining company.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time getting a read off of you, to be honest.
Oh, shit.
Are you intimidated by older men? Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't know. No, it says this is set and I got a boyfriend.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's what this wall right here is?
Yeah.
I don't want to be your boyfriend.
Okay.
I do want to take you to grab a coffee sometime or something.
Yeah, you can.
This fake boyfriend you have, is he a serious guy or
no,
not so
just a
serious?
boyfriend.
I mean, do you do Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, I do Facebook.
You're too young for Facebook, aren't you? Do you have a phone or not?
Yeah, I do.
Add me.
Do you have Facebook?
Yeah, add me.
Oh my god, someone's calling me.
Oh my goodness, girl, you need like a full-time caretaker.
I gotta get this.
This has got to be the oddest
here, I
pickup
don't
I have
think so.
ever done. Here, add yourself. I'll text you, we'll grab a drink, a platonic drink at first,
Okay, 1 second.
until your boyfriend disappears, hopefully.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend. But here you go. This is my Facebook.
Okay, Nikki.
Yeah, okay, well, catch you later.
Okay, I'll see you later. It's nice to meet you. I'll send you a message.
Okay.
We're going to go out sometime now.
Okay.
I'll keep
Yeah,
my
I
hands
got
to
a boyfriend
myself
now.
until the boyfriend thing disappears. All cute girls have boyfriends, right?
Okay,
It's very
nice meeting you.
rare.
Thank
It's
you.
very rare that you meet a girl without a boyfriend, so.
Okay, it's nice meeting you. Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Okay, that one was a little weird, a little weirder set. You could tell I'm just trying to power through all the time, right? I'm trying to power through the model, and I just need to slow down, I think, and just pause and relax a little bit. More. She was on the phone and I demanded her to get off the phone. I teased her by pretending I was security. She was really impressed, I think, with the balls that it would have taken to do that. Looking at this from 200 sets later, though, I think what the proper move would have been there, because she hooked right away. She asked me a question and stuff. I could tell she was into me, even though she was pretending she wasn't into me, pretending, well, she was actually on the phone, but in hindsight, I should have just taken that phone, picked it up, and just hung it up and said, you can phone him back in a minute, and taken control a little bit more, because she was obviously liking that control that I was taking. This girl, actually, I did end up going on a date with. I texted her on Facebook, and she came out. She actually was the one that was getting physical and everything with me, which kind of surprised me, because when I left that, I didn't know if it was going to go very well. I didn't build enough attraction there. I should have teased her a little bit more. I kind of like, you know, she said she was a student at SAIT. I teased her about being a caretaker. I did have a couple teases in there, but it needed to be a longer interaction. She was giving me the time. I just need to let her settle down a bit, right? Because she did like me, and I could have taken that girl on an Insta date, but you could probably notice that I was just like, I was trying to stick to the model, and she was saying things, and she was throwing a whole bunch of stuff at me, and I wasn't really like present, enjoying the moment. It's like, okay, what's next? And then just pushing through. But that was like a set that happened. I was out with my wing, and I think she was open like number 9 or something. So my energy was really good and all that. And also you'll notice, like, you'll start to notice the more risks you take, the more free bonus points girls give you, right? So on that one, she was on the phone and I still opened her. She gave me 2 free points for that, right? She found that quite attractive. You'll notice, like, if a girl's going up an escalator, I had another one where a girl was walking up an escalator and I was like chasing after her, getting by people to go open her, and she gave me 2 free points there too. So that's fairly typical too. You could see I was trying to stay to the model, but it was like she was throwing me a lot of different stuff. I at that one, it reminded me also that I got a ton of I'll add a girl onto Instagram or Facebooks, and she wouldn't add me back. That was happening a lot from 200 to 300. So after this one actually worked where we switched Facebooks. But after this one, I started to just say my phone's dead. Add me to your Instagram, and I would grab her phone and type my Instagram into her phone, so she didn't really have a choice to add me back or anything. I know some of the guys over at RSD are saying not only add yourself, but send yourself that first message. I still haven't started to do that yet. I feel like I need to start doing that, but I haven't done it quite yet. So that was a good one. I think that was like one of the 2 dates that I've had up to 300. I had one other date, I did a coffee date with her, and then I did a dinner date with her, and then this girl that I took out, she was the second one that I dated for from Cold Approach at set number 300. I think she was actually set 300. So let's jump in. I got one more here.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
It's a little random to approach somebody in the mall like this,
Yeah.
but I was walking by with my friend and I noticed you over here. And I was like, wow, you are an attractive girl, so I had to say hello.
Thanks.
Yes, what I noticed about you was you're like in your own little world doing up your shoe.
Oh,
Like your own little creative bubble or something. Yes.
thank you.
What do we have here? I'm gonna guess you're like, I'm gonna say like a yoga teacher or something, because
No,
you're like...
I'm actually just in school still.
Oh,
Yeah.
how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, okay. For
Yeah.
a minute there, you scared me. Like, which school is that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're a little younger than I thought,
Yeah.
but still, what is it you do if it's not yoga?
I'm
Student?
I'm just a student.
What are you taking?
Just kind of like engineering.
Oh my goodness, I would have never guessed that
Yeah.
from you. You don't put that kind of energy out at all. That's super logical, hey? Yeah, it looks like I'm disturbing you a little bit.
No,
or...
I'm just in a rush tonight.
Oh, are
actually.
you?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I made your day a little
Okay,
bit
yeah,
better.
thanks.
See you later.
Okay, with that one, again, I think I got another free point for opening her when she was like kind of bent over a bench doing up her shoe and everything. You'll notice at the end of that one, I said, am I disturbing you? It looked like you're ready to go. And of course she leaves. Like, bad habits die hard. I still have that bad habit of saying, am I disturbing you? It looks like you have to go. And then it's like, of course they're going to say they have to go. They don't know me. You know, I'm like a minute deep in an interaction and I'm giving them an easy out all the time. That keeps happening. It's always happening. You know, even now at 500, it still happens. So don't give them an easy thing out. One of the things that I had in one of my field reports that kept coming up over and over again, I had 2 things that came up over and over again from 200 to 300. And those 2 things are this. The first thing is whatever you tell them it looks like they're feeling is what they will feel. Right, so the reason that I have in my sets here all the time, I'm getting an open energy, a friendly energy, is because as soon as I say they're open and as soon as I say I feel like they're friendly, they become open and friendly, right? So the opposite of that happened in this interaction. I said, it feels like I'm disturbing you, and that feeling she started to feel, you know, she's like, oh yeah, actually she probably felt that a little bit, right? So whatever you say the girl is feeling, for some reason it just seems like they feel that, or that feeling that they are feeling that's inside them amplifies, right? So I learned that came up over and over and over again in my field reports. And the other thing that for me, because I'm an older guy, I'm 38, and I'm opening a lot of times 20-year-olds, 23-year-olds. I was saying, I don't have any examples of this, but if a girl was like 18, 19 or something, I would say, oh, I'm too old for you. And that would always, she would be like, oh yeah, you are. And she would almost always leave immediately as soon as I said that. So I had to switch that from kind of saying like, I'm too old for you, sorry, kind of a vibe, to like if she asks how old are you, I'm too old for you, missy, your dad would have a heart attack if he knew you're flirting with me, you know, like in a joking way, you know, like something like that was starting to work better in these interactions. So I had that written over and over again. Quit telling girls in bold letters that you're too old for them because they believe you. You know, so at that point I had to say that. And then also the thing that I'm currently still experimenting with now is, do older men intimidate you? Because it seems like, I'm not sure exactly why that's working a lot better now, but it seems to be working a lot better now. So if you have to switch, if you keep on thinking in your head you're too old for someone, they're going to feel that you are. And if you say I'm too old for you, they're going to agree with you that you are too old for them. So find something else in your routine to put there between 200 and 300. And what I've been experimenting with, two things, is just teasing. Like if they ask how old I am, just be like, I'm way too old for you, Missy. You better walk away right now. Your dad would have a heart attack if you knew you're flirting with me. You know, like that kind of thing. Or if you're in more of a serious mood, just be like, or if the vibe is more serious in the interaction, I've been experimenting with saying, do older men intimidate you? You know, it feels like there's a little bit of off energy. Do older guys intimidate you or something? Or, you know, like act like it's no big deal, almost like you're high status and she's like acting a little weird kind of thing. So anyways, that's the last one for sets 200 to 300. Like I said, I added like 47 seconds or something to the average interaction length there. I got one major blowout there where a girl told me to fuck off. Not like fuck off, but like, actually I think it was fuck off. Like I did get one major blowout there. But for the most part, they're pretty decent interactions. They're getting longer. I'm learning the model better. But again, that same theme runs true throughout all these videos, is the marketing in the PUA community, the marketing in the cold approach pickup community has convinced, well, did convince until I did this little thing, me, and also has convinced most of my wings that this learning cold approach pickup is, you spend a weekend trying to learn it and you're awesome, or you take a boot camp and you're awesome. That's not the case, guys. Like, unless you're some sort of prodigy or something, like, you know, buckle in. It's going to take you a long time. You know, I'm at 500 sets right now. I'm definitely way better than I was, like dramatically better than I was, but still I got a long way to go. So this is a long journey, and buckle in. But I would say something about approach anxiety here, is my skin is thick from 200 to 300. I still feel approach anxiety, especially for the first or second set of the day. I'm trying to make sure I do 10 sets per outing, but it's manageable at least. Like I still feel it, but it's not like, it's not getting to the point where it's preventing me from opening too many people. Now, at the time that I was doing these, it was winter time in Canada. So when I walked around the mall, I always have, well, I have a card in my pocket that I rip to make sure that I do my 10 sets in 2 hours. But another check that I have is every loop of the mall. It's a 2-story mall. It takes me about 10 minutes or so to do a loop. So if I do a full loop without doing one open, then I'll usually give myself like a minute to open anybody. And sometimes that has to be an uglier girl if I don't see one, because I have to like have accountability things, because the approach anxiety is still there. And a lot of times you're going to notice like, oh, that girl's in a 2-set. Oh, that girl's on the phone. Oh, that girl's walking fast. Oh, that girl has a lot of bags. And your mind will start playing these tricks on you so that you don't open enough people. And so that's one thing that I started to implement at this stage, was if I do a full lap of the mall and I haven't opened anybody in this lap, then I got a minute to open somebody, right? So that's sets 200 to 300. Like I said, I'm going to do a video for every 100 sets. I'm recording everything. And then when I actually go through and edit the videos and make comments on them, I'm trying to do that when I've opened 200 sets past the last set of the video, right? So the last set on this video was that girl on the phone. She was set 300. And so right now I'm at 500 sets. So when I'm editing these videos and kind of going over them again, I'm going over them, looking at them from an eye of 200 more approaches. And I feel like that's probably the best way to learn the material, because I'm not too far away from having learned all these lessons. So that's sets 200 to 300. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell button down there too, so that you get the next video, which will be coming out probably in a week or 10 days or so, and that'll be sets 300 to 400. And like I said, I'm going to do this all the way to set 1000, and probably after we get over 500, we're probably gonna have to cut down to like 2 videos per show, or 3 videos maybe, because they're getting too long. Like my sets now are getting longer. You know, I'm having multiple sets per week that reach 7 minutes now. So I still say my average time only goes up by like a minute every 100 sets or so. So you know, the average is going up a minute, but at least I'm getting to the end point now. So there you go. Subscribe, hit the bell.